So, one of the things I was reflecting on recently is how eager men are to get women to orgasm as some kind of reflection of their own self-worth. However, me and you have discussed at the same time, they're not really willing, many of them are not willing to be completely present and truly make love to a woman. And I find that very interesting.
Can you say more about that? Because I think that they believe that they're being very present when they're um, operating her body to have um, a pleasurable experience that will lead to orgasm. Like I believe that they've done quite a lot of research. I mean, I think we were talking, they've done research. I think there'd be a lot of argument with you that they're not present towards to what needs to take place in order for them to give her an orgasm. The thing they're missing is how mechanical it feels on her body. It's almost like they went to a car shop and got a mechanic's guide, and yeah, they're treating her body as a piece of machinery that they are expertly researching to function at its highest peak, sometimes forgetting that there is actually a more organic and intuitive and like sensitively attuned, process, non-process that that emerges between them from the body's signals itself in the moment that cannot be replicated each time that you go in.
Yeah, I mean, I actually find this a very spiritual sort of discussion, actually, because I've seen many people who spend 20 years meditating and they say they're really present. And you can be present with a woman and trying to make her orgasm, but you're present in a way that makes her an object. Like you're present with what she looks like instead of with you're present with what things appear to be like instead of present to the innate sensitivity within your body, which is the flow of God's love or
Yeah.
presence.
And that's something very different because you have to let go of what you think you know in order to be mysteriously guided. And that is the gap between making love to a woman and having an agenda of what it's supposed to look like. And oh, I'm getting this right because she's beginning to get hot or she's moaning or that kind of thing. And that's something, a manual cannot teach you,
Mm.
is that in all of this passion to go out and please a woman and to find out what gets her to be in ecstasy, because ultimately a woman's ecstasy is the deepest, I think that's the deepest heart's desire for a man. And in all that sort of, um, you know, um, just undirected kind of missile approach to finding out what gets a woman hot, there's no fine print that says, remember that it's attached to a fine being who has a soul and is very energetically attuned to her own body. And, you know, and these maneuvers may not work on her. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And it's an ultimate kind of because the thing about material reality is it operates under like very predictable rational laws. And that's the thing about that's how most people view the body is the same thing as a car or, a machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned about it being predictable. Yeah, exactly. And I think also what happens with men is like when they're younger, this is, they go, oh my God, I'm, like I'm in my teens or whatever. I need to get a woman to orgasm because somehow that's my rite of manhood, my passage into being a man. That must be what my dad did. That must be what men do. Because I've realized that this becoming a man is somehow related to this other gender that happens to be alongside of me, you know. Um, on a soul level, I think it's so much more of a magnetic pull that they're not really being explained what that's about, and an innocent desire to be merged with this other being who has the exact opposite to what they have, so that they join together, you know. But I think, and then once they've done that a few times, oh, I know what woman's about now. I've done that before. And what else is there with it? Like, oh, I do that in order to feel good about myself as a lover, and also I just kind of use that, her moaning and what she does to me and everything, to get off now. Yeah, there's no deepening of that. I've done that now. I know what woman's about. Um, so it's really shocking, I will say, when men come into the work,
Hmm.
the holy work of the body, of woman's body, and it's revealed to them, and they're like, on some level, you see them. How did I not know this? You just got to go to my Patreon page and you'll be like floored. Like, where was I when this was when this was being given out, when this information was being given out? Where was I? How did I miss this? How did I not know that woman really has a sensual component to her that I've never, ever made contact with? And here I was thinking I'm giving her the ultimate pleasure. I mean, it's a massive,
Hmm.
massive like deconstruction of what they have been told and known.
Yeah. And it's actually what's really fascinating also is I think just a few days ago, me and you were discussing how women leverage um, the yoni, right? That's the kind of game that gets played, and that's the artificial model of what like when men get bored so easily because now there's the manual and they just follow it. Now there's these false mind games being created to give the illusion of some kind of artistry of this is how you get in and this is how you woo a woman to spread her legs or whatever, And there's all of these podcasts about how to pick up women and how to get a woman and all of that, when really all of that artistry is actually should be directed at actually loving the woman. And it's being directed exactly the opposite.
Yeah, and getting into her because I know what's going to happen there, but they don't know what's going to happen there, and that's the fallacy there. Is that yeah, the energy once you like each other and you've really worked out that you have an energetic template of esoteric marriage together, lingam and yoni. Once you know that, you don't play games. Now you've got you've got a way into heaven. So now's when you can put that energy all towards devoting to that template and what that teaches you and guides you to know about yourselves and about love and about alchemizing and elevating the childhood and past experiences that have left you so shut down to love. That's what you get to do with that. But people are, yeah, they're like, it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen when I get in. So, and women even think that about themselves. And that's why there's so much competition between the yonis. I mean, there's enough in each woman to keep a man very, very busy and very, very humble and very, very, connected. It's almost if you leave one woman in the midst of that, you will find it very difficult to reconcile your whole life with what you've touched. That's a taste of God in existence, goddess in existence. That's something that's very difficult to unknow.